Hello and welcome to Coco Styling. My name is Micah and today we will be talking about color. If you're subscribed, you probably knew that I wanted to redo my color series with more information and answering some common questions. So feel free to write down all of your questions in regards to color down below and I will try to answer them either by replying to your comment or talk about it in the video. Okay, so just putting it out there, this is gonna be a long one. This will include 1. Skin tone, eye color, and hair colors. 2. How to determine your undertone as a dark-skinned person. 3. How to understand your contrast level. 4. What are color seasons? Then we're gonna talk about the individual seasons. And then we will have a Q&A in case there's anything that you guys want me to talk about, but doesn't necessarily fit in any of the other videos. Some of this might change in order, or I might add some depending on the questions you guys ask. So if you're interested and you don't want to miss any of my uploads, don't forget to turn on your notification bell. I wanted this to be an in-detail guide on how to determine your color season, but if you want to skip all of this, you can also hire me as your personal stylist and I will make you a custom color chart at cocostyling.com. And if you were able to figure out your color season, you can also buy my color palettes and bundles there. Okay, so this video is the first step to determine your color season. Determining your skin tone, eye color, and hair color. Skin tone. Since we are talking about skin, please take care of it. Even if we do have more melanin, we are still susceptible to sun damage, so please be careful. Human skin color varies a lot. They can go from the darkest brown shades to the lightest hues. Your skin color can vary depending on your genetics and your sun exposure. Black and biracial people come in every shade depending on the amount of melanin on their skin. I divided these skin tones into 6 sections. Keep in mind, this scale is based on the tones of people of African descent. So if I say that someone is lighter, it is in comparison to other black people, not in comparison to people of other races. The perception on who's dark and who's light changes between regions. For example, what would be considered dark skin in Asian countries, it's not the same in America or African countries. Lighting can also affect how someone looks, so there might be some slight differences between skin tones. This is very prevalent among darker skinned people in photo shoots. The editors will lighten or darken their features to match an aesthetic, so please keep that in mind. Deep dark brown. These are the girls with very rich dark tones. Sometimes, because of how dark they are, they can have a blue or violet tint to their skin, giving this skin tone sometimes the name of blue-black. There are also warm-toned girls with this skin tone, and they can have an orange or yellow tint to them, and also the regular cool-toned red. Some examples are Nima Tang, Viola Davis, B. Mumton, Nyakim Gatwek, and Nakjai, and Lupita Nyong'o. 2. Dark brown. They are kind of a milk chocolate color. They are very dark and considered dark-skinned in America, but they are not as dark as deep dark brown girls. This and the brown skin tone might be the most confusing because they can look lighter or darker depending on the lighting. Some examples are Kelly Rowland, Naomi Campbell, Jackie Aina, Jessica White, Serena Williams, Gabrielle Union, and Kenya Moore. Number 3, we have brown. They have a caramel-like complexion. They are distinctly brown, but they are also very light in comparison to deep dark girls and dark brown girls. Some examples are Angela Bassett, Nia Long, Queen Latifah, Kerry Washington, Megan Good, Halima Aden, Lizzo, Sky Jackson, Regina Hall, and Ciara. So, 4. Light brown. They are a very light brown complexion, similar to a peanut color. Sometimes they are referred as light-skinned girls. but I believe there's a visible distinction between both of these skin tones. Some examples are Rihanna, Jada Pinkett Smith, Halle Berry, Beyonce, and Slick Woods. 5. Light-skinned. They are the lightest people in the brown scale. They are usually biracial. Their complexion is like a light tan color. They are what is usually considered light-skinned dark people. Some examples are Alicia Keys, Zendaya, Zoe Kravitz, Tinashe, and Alyssa Ashley. And number 6, we have fair. They have a very light complexion. This would be the black people with albinism. It is important to understand that since they have very light features, they can get easily overwhelmed by color. This is why there will be only one of the light seasons or one of the soft seasons, usually light. Some examples are Thunder Hopa, Deandra Forrest, and Joan Dion. As you can see in this chart, I sort the 6 types into dark, medium, and light. Remember, this is in comparison to other black people. You can use this information to create different levels of contrast with the colors that you wear. For example, if you're dark, wearing darker colors will give you less contrast, and light colors will give you a higher contrast. If you're lighter, it's the complete opposite. And if you have a medium skin tone, choosing colors that are in the middle will give you low contrast, and going darker or lighter will give you a higher contrast level. I will talk about this a little bit more when we talk about contrast. Now, here are a few things that you might want to consider in regards to skin tone. 1. Deep dark brown people will be clear types most of the time. If they have a lower contrast level, they might stand somewhere in the middle between dark and clear, like for example Viola Davis, but they will be a clear type 8 out of 10 times. Remember when I said that the darker and the warmer you are, the most colors you can wear? This is why people usually say that black people always look their best in bright colors, but that is not always the case. 2. People with fair skin will almost always be a light or a soft type. In the case of black people with albinism, their features have little to no pigmentation, meaning that they can be easily overwhelmed by colors, as I mentioned before. Depending on their contrast level, they will either look good in soft or light colors. Eye colors. First, we have darker eyes. 1. Black. Black eyes are extremely pigmented. If this is your eye color, you're most likely a dark type, but you can also be a clear type. In some rare cases, soft types could also have black eyes, but the rest of their features must be extremely soft, because black is inherently the most pigmented color there is. Brown. Brown is the most common eye color in the world. Unfortunately for us, this means that since it's so common, this doesn't help you much in narrowing down your season. However, if you have light brown eyes, you might be a soft season depending on how much contrast they make with the rest of your features. Now we have lighter eyes. A concept that applies to all light eye colors is what we talked about before. Light and light create low contrast, and dark and light create high contrast. This means that if you have dark skin and you have light eyes, it creates a lot of contrast, meaning that you're probably a clear season. And if you have a lighter skin tone and you have a light eye color, it is likely that you're either a soft or a light season. You can also be clear if your hair creates a lot of contrast, but not a pure dark season because your eyes don't create enough contrast. For people in the middle, it can be either way. You can be clear or soft, or they can be in between seasons as well. People that have hazel, amber, green, blue, or gray eyes can use this as a guide. Another interesting thing that we will talk about in the undertone video is that eyes can help you determine your undertones as well, like blue being cool, yellow being warm, and green being neutral. And finally, we have hair colors. The pigment of your natural hair color depends on the ratio of black or brown and yellow or red. I will only be talking about natural hair colors in this section because that is what we will use to determine your season. Changing your hair color can also alter your season depending on how you do it. Black. This is the most common hair color. If you have natural black hair, you're most likely a dark or clear type. In some rare cases, you can also be soft, but the rest of your features must be muted enough. Brown. Brown is the second most common hair color. It can be light or dark. Just like with eyes, this hair color doesn't tell us much about your season, unless you take into account your contrast level. Blonde. Blonde hair is very light, so this means that if you have darker skin, it will create a lot of contrast, most likely making you a clear type. On the other hand, if you have lighter skin, you can be a soft, clear, or light type. And if you have a medium skin tone, you can be either soft or clear. Now we have red. Red is the least common hair color. You can have reddish shades of brown as well, which is a lot more common. Just like with brown hair, this hair color doesn't say much about your season, unless you take into account the contrast it creates, because it can be lighter or darker. However, unlike skin, red in hair means it's warm, so if you have red or reddish hair, it is very likely that you are a warm season. Gray and white hair. Gray and white hair are caused by lack of pigment. This will lower your contrast level if you're lighter, and it will increase it if you're darker. The way your hair looks when it goes gray also depends on what the original color was. Having strands of gray or ashy hair can also indicate that you might be a softer season. This was everything for today. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss the next video. And if you want to look at more information, you can go to micah.com, where you can find useful tips for your color season, or if you want me to do all of this process for you, go to cocostyling.com and book me as your personal stylist. Have a nice day, and I hope to see you soon.